The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr Speaker, first of all, I'd like to acknowledge the family and friends of the perhaps up to 200 people who lost their lives in the earthquake on the 22nd of February. They're real people, we've seen their faces, they're young and they're old, all of them taken prematurely from those who knew and loved them, and we mourn collectively here today their loss. Many who died were young international students, young students who had come here to this country as our guests, and we pass on our condolences and our sadness to their family across the world for their loss. To all the people of Christchurch, in the House today we acknowledge your hardship, the trauma and the loss and the hardship that you have suffered. From all of us, I think, here in the House today, we collectively give our assurance to the people of Christchurch that they will not face the cost of recovery alone, but that cost will be borne by all of us as New Zealanders. Over the 7 days that I spent on the ground in Christchurch, I've seen the devastation that has occurred right across the city. But in particular, I want to acknowledge the hardship still faced today by thousands in the eastern suburbs who 2 weeks after the earthquake are still deprived of power, of water, of basic toilet facilities. They live in broken homes, and as I went around those homes, too often I saw elderly people, I saw children who had been traumatised by this, the second earthquake, and the constant aftershocks. Mr Speaker, I'm amazed at the resilience of people and the frequent response that I got when I offered my sympathy and concern, and they said, "Don't worry about me, there are others much worse off than me." Think of those who have lost their family members, those who have been injured. And I've been amazed too at the readiness of people in Canterbury and people right across New Zealand to reach out and help others in need. We have seen, out of this tragedy, enormous community spirit. I pay tribute to them, but I understand for those living in Christchurch and still suffering that deprivation, the pressure and the stress that they are living under, and that there is an end to everyone's patience. To the people that I have witnessed tirelessly working to provide the services and to try to make life better for others, you have my huge admiration. Emergency services, utility services, groups like the Sallies, the Red Cross and St John's, thank you. You do a really great job. To the volunteers that Clayton Cosgrove and I worked with up in Rangiora, shipping food across to people in the eastern suburbs, thanks for your generosity. And to those volunteers and community groups that I worked with helping to deliver those services, thank you again. You were amazing. The people that are working out of the new Brighton Police Station, the people working in the community hall across the way, around the clock, helping others in their need. To the Student Volunteer Army and the Farmy Army, thank you for your amazing efforts as well. I spent a day in Shirley working with the Student Volunteer Army, 1,000 students led incredibly by Sam Johnson, and thank you, Sam, for your efforts. Out there doing the work on the ground, people that looked like they might never have known one end of the shovel from the next, out there doing their thing because they knew others needed their help. Mr Speaker, to my fellow Labour MPs and to Jim Anderton, and 2 of my fellow Labour MPs have lost their homes. They're living without power, without water, one of them in a tent in the back section. Can I pay tribute to you and to my national colleagues for the assistance that you are giving in your communities. I've seen my share of tragedy down in Christchurch, Mr Speaker, but I have also seen enormous courage, commitment to others, and an amazing spirit amongst Cantabrians, which gives me confidence that Christchurch will rebuild and will re-establish itself. Can I finally, Mr. Speaker, reaffirm my and Labour's support to Cantabrians and wish them well in the massive rebuilding and recovery task that lie before them and us.
Matiria Ture.